Women's College World Series. So that's pretty impressive for them.
Yeah, we mentioned that when they were playing. Is that I don't know about UDK. I don't necessarily overtly root for the team that knocks Arizona out in general. But when there's a story like that, where the Ole Miss drives their bus all the way out here, and that whole story, on top of the fact that they'd never actually been to the College World Series,
Right.
like you're not rooting for the Pacers. Chances are right now, but there's a validation to that. Right, the team you root for gets beaten.
Well, I'm always going to root for any team over New York. So
of course, and that's what I mean. Like not overtly rooting for the Indiana Pacers. However, the further the Pacers go this year, it just shows how good of a team they legitimately are. And your Cavs, with their second best record ever, or whatever, and injuries aside, Ole Miss is a different story. It's a story of a team that's a program that's never been there before. Why wouldn't you root for that? I like rooting for. If Arizona's not involved, if the Wildcats are not participating, I like rooting for those teams that have yet to be on top of that mountain and have a chance to bring home a championship.
Yep, and so the Wildcats, in terms of baseball, will be on the road to Eugene, Oregon. It's the Oregon Regional. The number 12 seed are the Ducks. It'll be Arizona, also there, Cal Poly, as well as Utah. Is it Utah Tech? I think it is Utah Tech. One of those Utah schools is the other fourth team there. Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting at the moment, but they were out of the whack. And so Arizona they are the number 2 seed. They're going to play in the middle game against Cal Poly out of San Luis Obispo. The Mustangs, that'll be on Friday at 1 o'clock our time. So our coverage with Brian Jeffries on Friday will begin at 12:50. The way this particular regional sets up is that they will play double games, 2 games each on Friday and Saturday, and then 2 games on Sunday. Sometimes they'll play the multiple games on Saturday to get to just playing 1 game on Sunday, but because in baseball, they don't necessarily play double regional finals on the same day like they do in softball. They'll split those games up. So they'll play 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday versus playing 3 games on Saturday and then 2 games on Sunday. So if you get to the regional finals, the undefeated team, and you lose, you don't have to come right back and play. You still get a day off. Not a day off, but you get a night to come back and play again on Monday. So that'll be the setup in Eugene for this particular regional. Let's hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. Chip Hale discussed his team getting in, not hosting, and a whole lot more yesterday when he met with the media after the NCAA selection show.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'd like to say, obviously, it's Memorial Day, and this happens every year on Memorial Day, and it's such a special day in this country, and just honoring all the people who've allowed us to have these freedoms to go and play these baseball games. I just want to, say thank you to all the military and everybody that's done so much for us. We're excited. I mean, we knew yesterday we weren't going to be a host site, which was disappointing after being able to win the Big 12 tournament. I think everybody in the Big 12 felt like we'd at least get one. But once that was passed, the guys were excited to just find out where they get to go play. And obviously Oregon is a super good team, their quality team as a host. And it's good, all 3 teams have earned their way there. And Cal Poly, who will play first, I watched them play yesterday. They beat Irvine in the finals for the Big West, and Utah Valley went through a tough way to win the WAC. So we're hot. It seems like all of us are a pretty hot team. So it'll be a fun regional.
You had mentioned it inside about making it 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And it's been 50, 60 something years for the program to do
Right.
that. To be able to have that kind of sustained success has to be a good feeling, but there's also the moving past just getting in. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that was important. I felt like the mood after winning the Big 12, after last year with the Pac-12 championships, guys were sky high, and we just obviously didn't continue that into the regional here in Tucson. I felt like the mood in Globe Life was a little different. I felt like especially the veteran guys were like, okay, this is great. We're super happy. It was a great game, exciting game, but we have more things to prove. So we'll see. Obviously, we'll get up there, and baseball's a finicky game. You know, if you look at the West Virginia game and then look at the TCU game with the bats. You know, one game we're scoring all these runs. The next game we're having a hard time getting a guy in from third. So it has to do some time with the other team and how you match up. And we haven't looked at anybody yet, but yeah, we need to play better in the regionals.
But it helps that the pitching seems to be having its
Yeah.
best stretch right now. What do you think has been the key to that? Especially because it looked like guys were maybe wearing down. For a
Yeah,
while.
I think when Houston, I think Kevin Vance and John DeRoyan kind of went back to the drawing board and looked at a lot of video, looked at a lot of analytics and numbers and pitch calling and whatever it was with the pitchers and did a deep dive and that next day we started to pitch better and just sort of has snowballed.
Everyone was sad when the Pac-12 broke up, but one of the possible positive offshoots was that they could put together regionals like the one that you're in. ASU's going to UCLA. Do you think that's kind of cool?
Yeah, I do. I think it's cool. I thought we would get an all Pac-12 regional. We could have probably done it if Stanford or Cal would have made it, right? We could have done 4 teams. So, yeah, it's super interesting how they can put these things together now. And you know, 10 years down the road, it won't matter much. But I thought it's neat to see the different teams playing each other in the regionals.
So
You've got a few.
go ahead.
Oh, thank you. You've got a few players who have prominent roles who are from the Tucson area,
Right.
Including your ace, Krumkowski. What has he meant to this team, and what part of how big a piece of the puzzle is he going to be going forward?
Yeah, he's been huge. Obviously, I think that's one thing that people don't realize. Our pitching is really young. I mean, you know, he's like talking about your Friday night starter, didn't really pitch as a freshman, maybe a couple innings, and now he's our Friday night guy. Our Sunday's a freshman. You know, we talk about now he's probably a sophomore, but you know, he's got 3 more years to play here. But Cram's been huge, and the guy you give the ball to on Friday night sets a tone for the series. And that's part of the reason why we moved him into that role. So yeah, being a local kid and local family, prominent family here in Tucson, it's been a huge deal. And obviously Andrew Kane and Mason White, those guys have been huge people for us. And you know, without Kane, we wouldn't be here right now.
Do you think it helps to have played at the ballpark that you're going to play at in terms of the conditions, the dimensions, all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, you know, the travel up there, we've done it numerous times. You know, obviously the hotel, we'll see where they put us, but yeah, I think it helps a lot. This is very uncharacteristic weather for up there for us. We're used to some rain and some cold, so it looks like it's going to be, knock on wood, it stays what the forecast is. It looks like it's going to be a nice weekend.
Considering that the Big 12 got 8 teams in but didn't get a host, do you feel that, I mean, you guys have maybe that edge you mentioned in there. Do you think that the league as a whole will look at this as we need to prove that we're deserving because we got this many teams in but no one hosted?
Right, I do. I think everybody will play with a little more edge. I think everybody's pretty disappointed that, you know, as a coaching fraternity in the league, I think that was the feeling like, come on, one of these teams needs to get a host. Now we don't, so I think all of us feel like we need to play with a little more edge.
What do you think needs to change in the NCAA tournament?
I don't know.
We asked you that question,
Yeah.
I think, at the end of
I
last one,
don't.
too.
I mean, it's so hard. There's so many good teams. You look up there and you think, well, who shouldn't be a host? You know what I mean? Who, you know, they're all deserving. There was probably 20 deserving places, and it's a tough, you know, to be in that room. It's very difficult. So, yeah, I'd love to be in there just to see how it goes. It would be kind of neat to see, but yeah, I mean, obviously people are going to say there's too many SEC hosts, yada yada yada, but we play those teams. They're very good, you know, and we know they earn it. So.
You did
We have. I think one of the things we have to do out here in the West, whether it's California, Arizona, Big 12, whatever you want to say, we need to get ourselves to Omaha, and then we can start to maybe have a bigger voice.
Yeah, you did a lot of self-reflection after the last regional here. The one thing you really haven't done as a coach thus far is make it past the regional round. What do you think you need to do differently to maybe make that happen?
Yeah, well, we're you know, we've talked a lot about things we did and we've tried to do all year, tried to peak at the right time. But again, I think a lot of it's matchups. I think last year we knew after the tournament, going with the teams that were coming to us, they were all really tough matchups for us, whether we were at home or whether we were playing on Mars. It didn't matter. So we'll look at these teams and we just had to play better baseball. You know, that's what it came down to. We just didn't play well enough on that weekend. And if you don't play well enough on the weekend, you're going to go home.
This double elimination format compared to what you've had all year where it's just 3-game weekends, how does that change?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I think obviously the perfect way to do it is win 3 in a row. And we should have our 3 starters pitch, but it could be that we're going to need 5 starters. And, and that's going to be different for us. So we're going to find out. Maybe some different guys are going to have to pitch if we get in that spot.
There was definitely a different vibe in the dugout over the weekend in Arlington. The bananas were back.
Yeah.
Guys were doing stuff with cups and tape. We saw mustaches. We've seen different haircuts.
Yeah.
Is that just having time on your hands, or was there a conscious effort to, hey, let's try to create a little more energy?
Yeah, I think the guys, that was all from the players. And I think some of it could have been time. We were in Texas a long time. We had some free time during the day, and maybe that, but also they wanted to create some energy and get the guys going.
What do you think it is about this time of year that brings out the best in Mason?
I think he's one of those players. I mean, obviously we need Mason to be good for us to be the team we think we can. Obviously there's other guys in there, but he sits in that 3-hole, plays a premier position at shortstop. And one thing I think he does a little better in these type of games, he relaxes. He just lets the game come to him a little more instead of trying to push it. So I think he's learned that, and he really wants to be the guy a little bit more than I think in the past.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Chip Hale. He spoke yesterday after the Wildcats' placement in the NCAA tournament was announced. Again, they'll be up in Eugene. That'll be the Oregon Regional. The first game of the day will be Cal Poly in Arizona at 1 p.m. on Friday. Game 2 will be the host team, number 12 Oregon against Utah Valley. That'll be at 6. They'll come back on Saturday. Winners bracket game will be first at noon, and then losers will play, or elimination, however you want to, because I know people don't like the term losers. The elimination game will be at 6 p.m., and then Sunday you'll have the initial elimination game at 5, and then the first of the regional finals. So the regional final, so it could be over on Sunday because they will play the initial regional final on Sunday evening. But if they need to play a second regional final, that game will be on Monday. No time yet determined on that. 7 p.m., however, on Sunday night for the regional finals. So there is a possibility, obviously, if you get to that game 5, you will have to play 2 games on Sunday.
Can we get Chip Hale a placard that he hangs around his neck that just says, I don't know what these crazy players are up to? Because it seems like every year there's some press question like, what's with the bananas or what's with that thing? And it's like, well, I don't know. That's all the players. They came up with this thing. And
even some of the players don't know.
There you go. It just seems like a very typical answer for a college baseball coach. It's just, players are doing their own thing.
They asked Garen Caulfield that, and he's like, you got to ask the guys in the dugout. I'm out on the field. That's what Garen Caulfield said. We'll hear from Garen Caulfield coming up tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip. We've got more in store for you. The Diamondbacks got a win last night. We'll dive into that coming up a little bit later. They did. They had lost 5 games in a row, and it was a much needed victory. The schedule is favorable this week. Also, we're going to chat some Cardinals football. It's OTAs getting underway. Zach Gershman from azcardinals.com is going to join us around 4:20. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and weather together. Collisions Grant Road east of I-10, Benson Highway in Alvernon, Aviation Parkway in Keno, and Avra Valley Road west of I-10 at Avra Valley Road and Corey Road. Bad collision occurred La Cañada and El Toro in Sarita. 66 the overnight low, about 99 through the week. Chance of showers on Sunday. 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Sponsored by Progressive. Progressive is here for all of life's needs with protection for your home, auto, business, and more. From timely repairs to customizable coverages and payment options, we make it easy. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
For the 100th
time. I take great offense to any of you morons accusing me of perpetrating a fraud or a scam. All right? That's not funny. That's not funny to me at all. I've said this before. If you're trying to get a rise out of me, it worked. That pisses me off.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Do you love dogs? Do you have a clogged drain? Well, right now, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is donating 5 pounds of dog food for every drain we unclog. Mainline, kitchen, or bathroom. Let's unclog for dogs today. We're also collecting dog food, toys, and accessories for local shelters. Visit rightwayac.com to learn more or drop off your donations.
Call 520-88-DRAIN today, and let's make a difference.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team. But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute. You probably missed this over the weekend. I certainly did. U.S. men's hockey won the World Championships over Switzerland in overtime on Sunday in Sweden. It's their first gold in this event in 92 years. This is an odd tourney up against the NHL playoffs with a roster lacking major name value. It's not Olympic gold or the Four Nations Cup, but it is still a major accomplishment. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. DK on the Sports Tip. We are with you till 6 o'clock. We're talking about, obviously, the Arizona Baseball Regional that is coming up. That'll be starting on Friday. They'll be up in Eugene, Oregon for this Oregon Regional. They'll play Cal Poly. Cal Poly out of the Big West. They actually finished second in the regular season. They're kind of like U of A. They finished second in the conference. They didn't win the regular season, but they did win the conference tournament, beating the team that won the regular season in the Big West, and that was UC Irvine.
Did you happen to see the last time Arizona and Cal Poly met?
I did not, no.
They've played twice, and both times, DK, both games took place in 1968.
Wow.
So it's been a minute.
We had that poll last week about kind of anticipating that the Wildcats were likely going to go to one of their former Pac-12 rivals, and where you would prefer them to go to. Oregon State and UCLA were the top two choices there in terms of the fans. We had Brian Jeffries on the show. He mentioned that would probably be, for the media, it'd be better to go to Oregon, which is where they're going to end up being. Only 18% of the folks voted for Oregon as being the spot that they would or wanted to see the Wildcat baseball team go in terms of rivals for this regional. So they came in third, and then LSU was the fourth team, came in last at 9.1. So they won't have to face Jay Johnson and his crew just yet. But again, Oregon and Arizona, again, we had that in basketball. It happened in the NCAA tournament, and we're going to get it again on the baseball side.
Yeah.
I mean, again, is in the real big connection there, because I don't know, I mean, how many people look at Oregon as having been maybe one of the rival teams in baseball.
You think about like the heyday for me, quote unquote, for Arizona baseball was 70s, 80s, 90s. And Oregon didn't field a team right for a long period of that time. So seeing the Ducks as a, quote, rival in the baseball side of things. But back to your original point, DK, when I first heard that the Pac was going to be dissolving, that was my first thought was, well, how interesting will it be to see Oregon and UCLA and, you know, the teams like the Huskies that Arizona's had off again, on again rivalries with for the past 40, 50 years in the first round of these postseason tournaments. You never got to see that in the Pac because they would never, you can't put two teams, if you're not familiar, listeners, you can't put two teams from the same conference facing each other right off the bat in one of these national postseason tournaments. So now you get to see, Oregon may not be on the schedule, DK, but they just saw them in basketball. They're going to see them again in baseball. So it's a chance for some of these Pac rivalries to continue. And the games could not be for more stakes, right? I mean, seeing these teams like the Ducks in the postseason, it just lends to that rivalry continuing.
The big connection is obviously the head coach of the Oregon Ducks is Mark Wasikowski. Mark, of course, before he left to become the head coach of the Oregon Ducks, was a long-time right-hand man for Andy Lopez. I think he was at pretty much every single stop with Andy Lopez at Pepperdine. I think he played, if I'm not mistaken, the story, he played for Andy at Pepperdine, then coached with Andy at Pepperdine, then went with Andy to Florida, and then came here with Andy to Arizona. So, I mean, talk about a mentorship. That's it right there for Mark Wasikowski.
He got around. He played at three places.
Yeah.
Started in Hawaii, went to Santa Ana College, and finished his last 2 years at Pepperdine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So longtime assistant was on those staffs with Andy Lopez here pretty much from the beginning up until 2011. I remember Mark as being one of the assistant coaches when I first got to town in 2008. Spent 3 years at Purdue as the head coach there before getting the Oregon job with the pandemic season in 2020 and has kind of been there ever since. They won the Pac-12 conference tournament in 2023. I believe that was the first year of the tournament, and they beat Arizona to get to that title. So, again, Mark Wasikowski, a long-time connection to the University of Arizona as the head coach of the Oregon Ducks. All right, in case you didn't get a chance to hear it on Saturday night, your Arizona Wildcats winning the Big 12 Conference Baseball Tournament. Let's relive those highlights with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries.
Another left-hander against the righty, Smith Bailey, and the pitch chopped to the right side. Caulfield has one play to first. In time for the outrun will score, and TCU takes a 1-0 lead. Hintz delivers, ground ball. That is off of the umpire, grabbed by Caulfield to second for one. Back to first, in time double play, and the inning is over. Just what the Wildcats needed. Their fourth double play in 2 games. Hintz delivers, hit in the air to left field and deep. Back on that is Kane. Track, wall, reaches up and makes the catch up against the wall for out number 3, and the inning is over. Andrew Kane, not an outfielder by trade. You'd never know it on that one. The 2-1 to the plate. Kane hits it in the air to right field. Back on that one. Franco still going back at the track of the wall. It's gone! Out of here! Andrew Kane has just tied this game up in the top of the 9th inning at 1 apiece. The Wildcats shut out through 8 innings. Their leadoff batter in the 9th gets them even. Next offering, that's lined out to left center field. That's down for a base hit. White around second, headed for third, and they're going to hold him there. Adonis Guzman with a single, and now the go-ahead run at third for Maddox Mikalakis. Well, here we go again at the plate. Mikalakis, first pitch, drilled out towards right center field. On the run, here comes Brunson, and it falls for a base hit. Mason White in to score, and the Wildcats have taken the lead. Back-to-back base hits. Arizona's first hit with a man in scoring position tonight, and it gives them the lead for the first time tonight at 2-1. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue to set. Here's the pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Arizona's champions of the Big 12 baseball tournament. How about that? Back-to-back conference tournament championships for the Arizona Wildcats. They rule the Pac-12, now the Big 12. And the Wildcats are bringing home a trophy from Arlington.
Yeah, Maddox Mikalakis with, I don't know if you ever heard of the term in baseball, duck snort. You ever heard that term?
I
duck
have.
Snort?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, I don't like that. There's a lot of different terms in baseball. Duck snort is kind of the phrase that's commonly used for that little bloop single that kind of just goes past the outfielders.
You know what I call it?
The infielders and dies in front of the outfielders.
I call it a Luis Gonzalez.
A Luis, well, yeah, that's a Luis Gonzalez to win the World Series.
Yeah, basically the same
2001.
thing. Basically the same
Absolutely.
thing. Right over the infield, just in front of the outfielders, right?
I call the hit that Maddox got, though, because it was more of a fly ball.
Yes.
The Gonzalez was definitely a duck snort because it was more of a soft line
that was
drive.
like 25 feet up.
Yeah. This was more of a fly ball that just kind of fly. I like to term it because it generally dies in between one infielder and 2 outfielders. I used to always say that when I was broadcasting baseball that ball died into the Bermuda Triangle because it just disappeared between 3 converging elements. And so a triangle of outfielders, a triangle of fielders out there. So that was always the term that I used, the Bermuda Triangle single right there for Maddox Mikalakis to give the Wildcats the lead. And they go on to win it thanks to Tony Pluto.
Apparently that term came from Hawk Harrelson.
Yeah,
announcing for the White Sox when Carlton Fisk was up to bat.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that was his go-to. Was the
Hawk? He had a few sayings that have lasted the test of time, for sure. So your Arizona Wildcats on their way to the NCAA tournament. But like you heard when Coach was talking there, and if you missed any of what Coach had to say, you can head on over to our YouTube channel. Wildcats Radio 1290 and hear the coach's full comments. But hey, now we got to get out of regionals. They've been close. They got to the regional final that first year down in Miami, where they lost to the Ole Miss team that went on and won the national championship. They didn't get out of a home regional last year, and they got swept pretty nicely. I think it was at Arkansas a few years back. So you got to win one of these. You got to win one now. It's time to win a regional. It's time to get to a super regional and get back knocking on the door for the College World Series, for Omaha, as we like to say. I mean, it's a place that, the Wildcats, again, 5 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, 4 straight trips for head coach Chip Hale. I think because Jay, I do believe Jay went his first 3 seasons to the NCAA tournament. I don't think anyone else other than Jerry Kendall in his first 3 seasons. And I have to double check to see if Jerry actually did that. But it's a unique thing to go to 4 straight NCAA tournaments to start your coaching career. Now you got to get out of the regionals and get to a super regional. Simple as that.
The first year I worked here was the 2016 run. Coastal Carolina, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in again. They're good again for the first time since
that was so close.
2016.
2 things. Number one, that the super regionals that year lasted 6 days because I think there were 3 consecutive rain out. They were actually thunder and lightninged out. But yeah, I mean, DK, having Brian Jeffries call games in the College World Series that matter. We all love listening to the voice of the Wildcats, but I'll never forget that first run. I sat in this very chair and produced the games as Brian called them all the way to the finals that year. And like you, I mean, I got so used to the baseball team making deep runs, and no team is going to be there year in, year out. But, once every 2-3 years, you get
unless you're Vanderbilt.
Unless you've got, Major League Baseball first 10 guy starting rotations, because those guys usually get drafted out of high school, right? But yeah, there's nothing like it.
How many? I think Vanderbilt now has been at least 19 years in a row or something of that nature for the Vanderbilt, the Vandy boys, as they like to call them. Definitely. There's a reason they are the number 1 overall seed. They are the dominant team. They are the dominant program. They do it every single year. They get there. Now it's like them. There's pressure on them. They got to win. They got to start winning. I think they've only got 1 title, if I'm not mistaken. They won it in 2019. 2019. I think 14 and 19 were their 2 titles. So I mean, as much as you get, and it just shows you how hard it is. I mean, you go 19 years in a row. You win 2 titles. That's that's one out of every 9 trips. You get something out of it, and the Wildcats had some fortunate runs. They got there. They were getting there every 4 years. I kind of called them the every 4-year bunch because I think I got here. They went in 08. That was the year I got here. I wasn't here for that season. Then they went in 12 and they won it. Then they went in 16 and they got to the finals. But they, like all those years in between, there were some years that were kind of left out there.
Real quick before we get out of the segment, you want the official tally? Arizona's 9th all-time in NCAA appearances with 40, tied with Florida. Texas has the most at 64, Florida State 61, Miami's got 50, Oklahoma State 50, Clemson 47. That one school that's north of here, 41, Fullerton 41, Oklahoma 41. So those are the only schools that have more NCAA baseball tournament appearances than Arizona.
There you go. Let's get to the Super Regionals. Take that next step. DK on the Sports Tip. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions Ever Valley Road west of I-10, Ever Valley Road and Corey Road. Grant east of I-10, and also a really bad collision occurred in Sahuarita, La Cañada, and El Toro. 66 the overnight low, about 99 through the week with a chance of showers on Sunday. 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Your home for U of A football.
Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Arizona.
Men's basketball.
midcourt. Shot is up. Good.
And baseball.
Here comes the winning run. And the Cats have won it.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour? Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Moss.
Are your kids going to climb your walls this summer? Let them climb the walls at Rock Solid Climbing and Fitness instead. Rock Solid Climbing and Fitness is offering full-day summer camp for ages 7 to 14. Kids will do everything from play games, socialize, throw water balloons, make art, and of course, rock climb. Coaches will provide safety and skills instructions to get every participant climbing to new heights. Camps run Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with morning and evening extended hours available. Rock Solid is now accepting reservations for June and July. Don't miss out. Visit rocksolidclimbing.com for more info or call them at 520-222-6228. That's 520-222-6228.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Rock Solid Climbing and Fitness. You can get a week of climbing camp for just $169.50, originally $339. That's half off. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Arizona baseball is on the hunt for a 5th national championship.
Then the ball gets away, and here comes Mason White, and we are tied at 4.
Catch all the postseason action with Brian Jeffries right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Holiday savings start now during the Red, White, and Royal sales event. Get sizzling lease offers, all under $400 a month, with all taxes and fees included. For $299 a month, lease the Kia K4 with $1999 due at signing, or $379 a month gets you into the Kia Sportage with $29.99 due at signing. Go electric and lease the 25 Kia Niro EV for $299 a month with $1,000 due at signing. Or lease the 24 Kia EV6 for $368 a month with $4,000 due at signing. These leases are 36 months with all taxes and fees included. Mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. Must lease with Kia Motors Finance. OAC, no security deposit. K31868, K31712, K31538, K31736. See dealer for details. Offers end 6/2/25 at Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station, your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Brunson on the bench with 5 fouls.
All right, the hot hand here of Cat.
Towns 3. Good! What a shot! A 20-point fourth quarter for All-Star Karl Anthony Towns. A 20-point deficit to take this lead of 4.
Two things. Their defense has been the best it's been the entire series, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Nembhard will fire. And closing quarters, a huge part of the New York Knicks win in this big Game 3. They were down 2-0, losing both at home, but go on the road, down by 20, and win.
All right, so this series, this Eastern Conference Finals, looks kind of like the last series for the Pacers. They went on the road to Cleveland and won the first 2 games.
Did you see the
stat? Then they lost Game 3 at home.
They're 6-0 in their first 2 games of playoff series this year, and 0-3 in their third game. So they've yet to win a Game 3 in any of the 3 series.
That's nuts.
And they have not lost a Game 1 or Game 2 yet.
So we'll see if it holds true and they can come back and win Game 4 tonight at home at the Gainbridge Center against the Knicks in a game that'll tip off here in about an hour. Knicks, though, getting up off the deck. Karl-Anthony Townsend is having one heck of a postseason, averaging 24 points and 13 rebounders. It doesn't seem like a guy that looks like him should be able to shoot the three-point shot the way he does.
Yeah, I mean, he won the NBA's three-point shooting contest. I think that was like 6 years ago. So, I mean, clearly he's got a nice stroke. The big knock on Cat has always been that, DK, is that at 7'1" and a substantial like 270, I mean, he's a big dude. He spends a little too much time, not even at 23 feet, but at 26 and 28 feet out to the Steph and Trae Young type of range. And that's was one of the biggest knocks on him when he was playing in New York. But when it's going, and you can't really block that shot, right? We talk about Victor Wembanyama at 7'5", shooting threes. You have to have a lot of length and size just to challenge that shot, just to get a hand in that guy's face. When Cat's got it going like that, and hey, they fed him. Normally you see it's Jalen Brunson down the stretch of games. But 20 big points in that fourth quarter, a huge reason. And the third, DK, the third 20-point deficit that the Knicks have overcome this year in this year's playoffs.
That's crazy. That's crazy when you think about that for sure. Game 4 coming up here this evening. Let's hear from the head coach of the New York Knicks. He is Tom Thibodeau on feeding his hot hand Cat in Game 3 when he got hot.
Hard-fought game. I thought we got off to a good start. Then we got into foul trouble. And then we finished the half pretty good. And then we were at our best in the fourth. And a lot of guys stepped up. I thought Cat's presence, Josh all-around play, doing what Josh does, everything. I thought Deuce gave us good minutes when Jalen was in foul trouble. OG was terrific throughout. Mitch gave us good minutes. And then Landry and DeLon did a really good job as well.
Tom, obviously Towns 20 in the fourth. Just was there a concerted effort to seek him and hunt him, especially with the lineups that you had on the floor?
Well, I think that's sort of the mantra of the team. They're unselfish guys. When someone gets going, you try to continue to keep them going, and that's recognizing what's working. And so it was everyone working together to find open shots for them, which I think is important.
All right, that's Tom Thibodeau, the head coach of the New York Knicks. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals coming up tonight, 5 o'clock tip-off from Indianapolis, Indiana. What do the bettors say on this one tonight? Time now for your BetMGM Network top play, and it is Knicks Pacers.
I'm Will Ortner, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. The New York Knicks shocked the Indiana Pacers in Game 3 with a 20-point comeback victory. Now in Game 4, the Pacers could be without their star defender Aaron Nesmith, and the Knicks could be catching fire. You can bet New York on the money line at plus 110. I'm Will Ortner, helping you bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, Knicks on the money line. He thinks the folks over at BetMGM Network like the Knicks to even this series up tonight. Plus 120 you're getting if you take the Knicks on the money line tonight. That's over at the Desert Diamond Casino, so your $12.90 bet could get you $15.48. J-Dub, can the Knicks win 2 in a row on the road in this series?
Yeah, no, they can. Without a doubt, they can. You heard there that Aaron Nesmith was banged up. I just heard rumor about an hour ago that he is good to go, so he will play tonight. The real question on a U of A note, DK, is where's Benedict Mathurin? Because the second game, I think he got in there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he
got pulled. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. And last game, it was basically the same thing. Coach gave him an 8-9 minute stretch to see what he had. It's a standard rotation, usually comes in the second quarter. But I've watched so many Pacer games this year, and traditionally they will basically close with whoever's strong, in addition to having Siakam and Halliburton, those kind of guys on the court at all times. Relative to if it's TJ McConnell, if it's Ben Mathurin, Shepard is the one who got minutes over Ben in that third game. Those guys, DK, are just playing stronger on-ball defense, and that at this time of year is really what it's all about. So if Benedict Mathurin is not going 5 for 6, which is a traditional 10-minute stretch for him from the field, then he's not giving much in the defensive end. It's tough because the Pacers' depth is why they are where they are. I mean, they ran the Cavs off the court. They couldn't keep up with. They had their injury issues. Those first couple of games against the Knicks, it was really down the stretch of those games where the Pacers' depth and just constant pressure. They don't run a full court trap. They run a full court D one-on-one. The point, whoever brings the ball up, DK, as the point guard is seeing pressure 90 feet the entire game. So there's something to be said about when you play 9 guys. I like the Pacers overall in this series. I've said that from the start. I think the Knicks closers, when you're talking about Brunson and Cat, if they've got to go in there in the fourth and can keep it close, that game the other day was really a matter of the Pacers really just falling apart offensively, especially in that third quarter. But will they? The money line is what did you say?
It is plus 120 for the Knicks.
Yeah.
So the Pacers are favorite, but they're saying take the underdog Knicks tonight at plus 120.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's been such a Jekyll Hyde postseason outside of, I mean, look at what happened in that Cavs game. Was it game 4, game 3, where they just blew the Pacers out? So consistently, I don't think the Pacers have that top tier one-on-one ISO type talent that sometimes it takes to win consistently in the playoffs. But that's why they're so fun to watch, is because anybody on any given night, they got 8 guys who've all scored over 30 this year. If that depth comes to play and they wear down, especially the guard play, the guys who are, it's really been Hart and Brunson for the most part who brings the ball up for the Knicks. If those guys' legs aren't quite there, especially Jalen Brunson, if his legs aren't there for the Knicks in the fourth quarter, or if you see him get in foul trouble like he has these last couple of games, I like the Pacers running away with this. It really just depends on that depth and who shows up, because TJ had a couple of really bright spots. Ben Shepard's been really good off the bench. Obi Toppin's another guy that comes off the bench for the Pacers. It's that bench depth that really makes the Pacers scary, because, DK, if there's 8 or 9 guys that all have it going at once in a game, that's where you've seen the Pacers get out to those 3-0 leads and not losing any of their original first or second games of any series this year. So, yeah, I mean, the Knicks need to keep up with the Pacers going into that fourth quarter. Coming back, it's not a renewable formula. It's not a repeatable for them to come back from 20-point deficits on a regular basis, especially in a team. The best, most powerful offense is the Pacers. So they can put 40 plus points on you in a quarter without much effort, because, again, you're talking about 7-8 different guys who can score. Whoever's open is the best shot.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. A couple of more things to get to. So we lost last night. We had the Thunder -3 in the game against the T-Wolves. The Thunder won the game, but, of course, they only won by 2.
Did you hear the stat from that one?
No.
The bench, right, really got outplayed in that first game in that series. Last night, DK, the bench for the T-Wolves had 70-plus points. 70-plus points from the bench. But it was their stars who didn't get it done. So Randall, after scoring 20 points himself in the fourth quarter a couple of games ago, he only had 5 total points in that game, DK. So the stars, Anthony Edwards, did not really have a traditional game, didn't get enough shots up. But their bench, the reason they only lost by 2, DK, is their bench scored over 70. It was their superstars who couldn't get it done.
And we have one baseball bet for you tonight. Rangers, Blue Jays. Rangers are back home now that the Big 12 has evacuated from whatever that city in Texas is, Arlington.
You can just call it not Houston.
Not Houston, exactly. Not Houston. Rangers, Blue Jays, under 8 runs today is the play there, -117 right now at the Desert Diamond Casino. Rangers, Blue Jays, under 8. All right, we are joined by the third member of our program to start off Well, actually, you're here today, gone tomorrow, I understand. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going tomorrow?
I'm going to the Mescal movie set.
What's that?
Mescal. It's a movie set in Mescal.
Wait, they're filming a movie there?
No.
Oh.
No, the set is open for tours when they're not filming a movie.
In Mescal, I don't even know where that is.
But it's closer. It's like kind of between here and Benson.
Okay. But they're filming a movie there, but it's not. They're not filming tomorrow.
No, they're not filming a movie.
Okay.
They open the set when they're not filming a movie.
Okay.
But when they're filming a movie, the set is closed.
So you've been there before? Or?
No, I have not.
No.
No.
So this is like, are you taking the nieces and nephews there, or is
No,
that
just going.
Is that just a you thing?
Just going with a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, they did like
Outstanding.
Tombstone,
Quick
Josie
and the
Wales.
Dead.
Yeah, Quick and the Dead.
Mhm.
Josie Wales, one of my favorite westerns of all time.
So this is kind of a Western movie set kind of thing.
Yes.
So what are you most looking forward to seeing there?
I don't know. I don't think it'll look like any movie I've probably I wouldn't be like, oh, that was in Tombstone,
Right?
Because I think they change it up a little bit or whatever. Just
Okay.
very curious to see it though. It'll be cool.
How long's the tour? Is it a long tour or?
I'm not sure.
No, there's no performances, not even like any fake gunfights or anything like that.
I don't know. Gosh, I hope so. I'm kind of hoping there will be some fake
We'll see that.
gunfights.
Yeah, we gotta have a fake gunfight, right?
You gotta see somebody fall off a roof. That's how that works. Yeah.
I agree.
Somebody get shot and fell off a roof. That's the
Yes.
big- Yeah, we had some shenanigans in my neighborhood last night. I'm like sitting at my computer, like 12:30. I hear this thing that sounds like a firecracker, and I'm like, well, that was interesting. I thought maybe some kids were out celebrating graduation or something of that nature. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, it's like cops, sirens everywhere. And so, yeah, there was apparently something was happening at the apartment complex next door. So
Wow.
I was kind of the looky-loo. I was that guy on the other side of the
You're
wall.
that neighbor.
I was that guy
That
on the
neighbor.
other side of the wall, kind of looking over to see what was going on last night. All right, here you got. Have you ever been rock climbing, Cricket?
No, sir.
No. Have you, J-Dub?
Yeah,
You climb
tons.
rocks at
Yeah.
all?
Smith
Like,
Rocks
even
in
like-
Oregon's my favorite.
Oh, you actually have done outdoor.
I've done belaying and all of it. Yep.
What- I have
I've
no
never
idea what
top
belaying
climbed.
is.
Like I've never set a route for anybody, but I've done a lot of rock climbing. Yes.
Please explain belaying.
That's that's when you're at the bottom and you hold the rope for somebody else when they're at the top. But top climbing is when you basically have the rope on your hip and you get up and you hook it around the carabiners and you're the one putting the rope up the rock as you climb first and people trail behind you.
Huh.
Scary. Very
That's
scary.
crazy.
All right. But Cricket's got an opportunity because, she's Sweet Deal Cricket, an opportunity for you to get some rock climbing.
This sounds much safer than what J-Dub was talking about. Our sweet deal on Friday is from Rock Solid Climbing, where you can get half off of 1 week of climbing camp for the kiddos, valued at $339. You will get that sweet deal for $169.50. And this summer camp at Rock Solid Climbing, ages 7 to 14, and kids can do everything from like playing games to socializing, can throw water balloons, make art, and of course, rock climb. Our sweet deal from Rock Solid Climbing Friday morning at 8:30, Wildcats Radio, 1290.com.
Now, have either of you ever like driven up to Mount Lemon and you'll see like people like climbing
Sure.
some of those rocks up there? I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, those people are nuts.
They're crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of routes on Windy Point. If you look closely, there's quite a few people that pretty consistently go up there. Yeah. The most important thing is you have to have solid rock, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
you have something
Oh,
brittle,
gosh, yeah.
that's not where you
Don't
set a
want
route.
that. Don't want brittle rock for sure.
Yikes.
All right. Get in on that sweet. We're just sweet dealing out. We got a sweet deal for you Cricket, I should say, has got a sweet deal for you every week. I don't know where she gets these things.
Sometimes we
they
even have two.
They're just falling out of your pockets.
They're just, yep.
I mean, your pockets are bulging with sweet deals.
Cricket's
What do you got?
got sweet
Sweet
deals.
deals. We got to get that going on. All right. Cricket's also got your traffic every 20 minutes.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Broadway and Wilmot, crash occurred there at the intersection. Some slowing, Wilmot and Broadway. Earlier wrecks southbound I-19 near Ruby Road and also Avra Valley Road west of I-10, Avra Valley Road and Corey Road. 66 the overnight low, 99 through the weekend with a chance of showers on Sunday. 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about essential warm weather styles, just $30 and under, like dresses, shoes and bags, men's, and even kids' looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Midcourt, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock and Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially to raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah, it's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Inside the opening 45 seconds. What a goal! With that cannon of a left foot. All even at one.
Never miss a game.
What a start for the United States.
Shot for distance. What a goal!
Never miss a moment.
Exquisite from the San Diegan. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Yeah!
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
When Ram won its first Motor Trend Truck of the Year, it was celebrated. But after 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. And now, so does the deal with Employee Pricing Plus. Stop by your local dealer today and take home a Ram truck. Ram, 7-time Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Nothing stops Ram.
Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Rams for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. See dealer for details. And 6225. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Chris Sylvester with NFL Network Now and the Westwood One Radio Network. The Browns are one of several teams holding organized team activities this week. and a new class of rookies is bringing fresh optimism to a franchise that tied for the worst record in the NFL last season. Rookie running back Quinshon Judkins says he's confident he can help change the organization, adding, quote, "I know what it takes to win." Judkins helped lead Ohio State to a national championship last year. And Arizona's second-year wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. also feeling good about his team's chances in 2025. Harrison says, quote, "From top to bottom, the quarterback, offensive line, skill positions, I think we have everything we need to accomplish our goals." And Rams safety Quentin Lake is setting big expectations for Matthew Stafford in the offense this season, telling NFL Network's The Insiders, quote, "It's going to be kind of reminiscent of the greatest show on turf," referring to the high-powered Rams offense led by Kurt Warner from 1999 to 2001. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, your Arizona Cardinals are going to be heading into OTAs, organized team activities. We'll begin to get our first look at what this new season could potentially be. So let's dive into it. Pleased to be joined by Zach Gershman from Cardinals.com. Writes everything Arizona Cardinals. And first, Zach, first time we've had you on the program. I just want to get your kind of a maybe kind of state of the organization. Last season obviously fell short of the postseason once again, but the first year Kyler Murray really had a full season working under this Jonathan Gannon system. What kind of was your assessment of how the 2024 campaign went?
I guess, David, this is the part where I say first-time caller, long-time listener. First of all, very appreciative to be able to hop on with you guys and talk some Cardinals ball. Look, this is a team that is on the rise in a lot of ways. You mentioned the trajectory of it. Jonathan Gannon now going into year number 3. Kyler Murray going into year number 2 fully healthy. And they say that that's the most important year for a player post-ACL surgery is that second full season, and that's exactly what they're going to be getting. Look, last year they were in the driver's seat for a lot of the NFC West, and that's encouraging. But they need to be able to string together a handful of these games, and I know that some of the losses from last year, the Carolina loss in particular, the game against the Rams, that left a bitter taste in their mouth going into this offseason. So while it is the voluntary portion right now of a mini camp and the OTAs in phase 2, I could assure you that a lot of the key veterans are all still in attendance now.
You know, I was at opening day last night, or at least the home opener last year when Kyler came out and it was Kyler and Marvin Harrison, and all of a sudden it looked like, man, this might be the thing here. And then obviously there are some growing pains after that. You come back the next week and you lose the game against a very good Detroit team. What did you see from Kyler Murray? And I'll preface that I've never been a huge Kyler Murray fan. He's not necessarily the kind of quarterback that I like. But what improvements did you see from him in his first full season in the Gannon system?
Honestly, it was the confidence within the huddle. There have been moments before in the past where I think people tried to assess Kyler Murray's body language when it came to how he was on the sidelines. And you didn't really see much of that. This is a group of guys, especially in that offensive huddle, that truly rallies around their quarterback. There have been moments where Trey McBride's been something that has been truly remarkable, and he credits a large portion of that to just the trust Kyler Murray has in him. And I think Kyler Murray's leadership is starting to showcase a little bit more as the season went on. It would have been very easy to point the finger. Why isn't the connection working with Marvin Harrison Jr., the inconsistencies, the lack of a deep threat down the field? But that wasn't the case. Kyler Murray kind of took on that quarterback one responsibility and duty and the mannerisms you expect from your franchise quarterback. I think that those are a few things that have been encouraged. Look, definitely we're growing. And I think Kyler Murray kind of summed it up best at the end of the season by saying, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr., that there were great moments, yes, but there needs to be more, and that chemistry needs to be there this coming year. Marvin has basically lived in the facilities. His clips of him on social media have gone viral for his build now. I could assure you that he and Kyler are doing everything that they can to try to be on that same page.
Zach Gershman joining us, Cardinals.com. You went right where I was going next. Marvin Harrison looks yoked. was that just kind of was that something that they felt that needed to happen going into this offseason?
He said it was just kind of a natural progression coming out of college and then going to the NFL when you have a little bit more free time. And what else do you do besides binge watch things on Netflix or film? You eat. And that's something that Marvin was saying that he basically was doing, was just eating more proteins, a lot more proteins compared to the past. But I do think, too, there was so much talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. was without a doubt the most gifted, talented wide receiver in that draft class last year. I understand Malik Neighbors had a very strong season, but Marvin Harrison Jr., 885 yards, 60-plus receptions in the season, 8 touchdowns, is not something that you could just, put under the rug a little bit. He had a solid season. It wasn't the season I think everybody expected for that to be the case, and I think that kind of lit a fire under Marvin Harrison Jr. He told me earlier on in the season that it wasn't necessarily what he envisioned that rookie season to be like, and I think because of that, when it came to contested catches, the defensive backs in the NFL are definitely going to be a lot more physical than the defensive backs he faced in college. So I think in this case, it was just kind of the natural maturation, that year 1 to year 2 jump. And I think his frame, his build is something that is part of that year 2 jump.
Before we get into the draft, I want to touch on what happened in free agency. Obviously, maybe the 2 bigger signings coming on to try to bolster the defensive line, picking up Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles, Dalvin Tomlinson, who was with the Browns for a number of years. What was the hope going into the offseason about how they wanted to try to fix the defensive line, get more pressure on the quarterback? Among those moves that were made, obviously also included the departure of our guy Roy Lopez from down here at U of A.
Yeah. Well, I'll say Roy Lopez is a gem, not just a gem of a football player, but a gem of a human being. We did a feature on him and his family and the Roy Lopez Foundation. That's on our Cardinals YouTube channel. Even though he's no longer on the team, I'll still give him his flowers, because Roy certainly deserves that, especially for his efforts in the community. When it comes to the revamping the defense aspect of it, everything that the Cardinals did throughout their offseason, it's in line with what was kind of expected. The Cardinals promised to be aggressive during free agency, and they had one of the biggest splash moves by bringing in Josh Sweat, who had a Pro Bowl season under Jonathan Gannon during his time at Philadelphia, double-digit sacks for the first time in his career with JG as his defensive coordinator. And then obviously with Calais Campbell was an all-time favorite. Anytime the trade deadline came around, fans were always clamoring, get Calais, bring him back to the Valley. And I think now he gets to finish his story in the way that he wants it, kind of that storybook ending. But it's not like it's just a storybook. He has also played 17 games, started 17 games in back-to-back seasons. So while it's not going to be the 60, 70 snaps, he's going to give you 30, 40, and he's going to deliver during those 30, 40.
Yeah, there's no question Calais Campbell is up in that rarefied air with guys like Larry Fitzgerald when it comes to how much he is loved within this fan base. Draft, obviously, also was very defensive. Walter Nolan, obviously, rookie minicamp just finished up. But what were your impressions of Walter Nolan and some of these other guys? I really like the kid. I mean, he was taken in the 7th round. I really like Keaton Crawford. He looks like he could be the kind of player who could be a perfect kind of fit in there next to Budda Baker.
So it's so funny you said, Dave, because Craig Grelu is one of my co-hosts on Cardinals Cover 2 on one of our podcasts. And it's funny because it seems like we're always talking about Keaton Crawford, even though he's a 7th-round guy. And those are normally the players that are the underdog stories, or you're like, oh, this would be a great, dream to potentially have. It'd be an amazing story. But at the end of the day, he does play, and he plays special teams so well. He's had 1,010 career special team snaps in his 5 years in college, 4 years at Texas, 1 year in Nevada with over there at Reno. And I asked him just about how much he loves playing that aspect of the game, because the Cardinals value that. They value that aspect of the game. Some teams, they'll have players that graduate from special teams to defense. I think a guy like Dennis Gardeck is truthfully a testament to that. That's not necessarily the case with the Cardinals. If you're good on special teams, you're going to remain on special teams as well. But when it comes to the draft as a whole, look, I think Walter Nolan, there was a lot of talk about his character. He said that he appreciated more than any other team that he spoke to in the pre-draft interview process that the Cardinals were the one organization that wanted to actually get to know the dude. Who's behind the face mask? And clearly the Cardinals like something, and were able to select Walter Nolan on top of the fact that he was just a stud in the SEC, All-American all around. And then, of course, in the second round with Will Johnson, obviously that's a player that slid. A lot of experts had him projected to the Cardinals at 16. So the fact that they were able to get him in the second round at pick number 47, he said that his knee is fully good to go during rookie minicamp, during the open portion of it. We were able to see him out there. He's moving around. So I think that whatever those rumors were, they've totally been washed away. And I think a component of this that's very fascinating, there was so much talk surrounding Josh Sweat when he was a draft prospect. He had a gruesome knee injury when he was in high school, potentially was supposed to have his leg amputated, and has completely said whatever to those rumors. I'm healthy, and he's been healthy since. Will Johnson kind of has a similar story, so it's fascinating to see both of those guys being Gannon guys.
We're talking with Zach Gershman. He writes for the Cardinals over at Cardinals.com. We've got OTAs that are going to be starting up here. Interesting when you look at just this draft class as a whole that Monty Ostenfort and company put together. I mean, they basically pulled from most of the top programs in college football. Is that kind of what they maybe want to do? Let's go into the best programs, because obviously these are kids we know that are coming with a winning pedigree.
Look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think so. Like, I totally could see where Monty Ostenfort is coming from with this. But then again, he also has a great track record of you take a shot on Paris Johnson Jr., your offensive lineman that you drafted 6th overall in 2023 out of Ohio State. He's going to be your franchise left tackle. And then you go the following year with Marvin Harrison Jr., who you know is going to be your cornerstone franchise wide receiver 1. So I think that he's seen the recipe, and he sees that it works. As a Penn State guy myself, it kills me that we're drafting so many Ohio State players. But then again, you have to respect the talent that's coming out of there from Columbus, not just Columbus, but at Michigan as well, which is, once again, it really hurts to say what you get out of Will Johnson from Ann Arbor. But then again, Cody Simon, who the Cardinals drafted in the 4th round, he's potentially going to be in line to compete for that Mike linebacker, that green dot role. He was the defensive MVP in the national championship game. The year before, Will Johnson was the defensive MVP in the national championship game. So if it ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. That's kind of the way I think Monty Ostenfort is looking at it.
You mentioned that you have a background over at Penn State. I don't know, in terms of everything you covered over there, did you ever come across our tremendous young wrestler, Roman Bravo Young, on campus?
Oh, my God, RBY, of course. Now, when Roman was walked out onto the mat, now that was something that you could put the camera down and you could appreciate it for a little bit. But then again, you have to pick the camera up really fast because at any given moment, he can make a move.
He is tremendous young man, for sure. All right, we've got OTAs coming up. What's the biggest thing you're going to be watching for with the OTAs starting up?
It's really going to be what that defensive line. I mean, there's so many players that are in that room, and I know Nick Rallis likes to use a rotation. He has to be a kid in a candy store. It was funny. We were joking around with John Gannon, and he was saying that Nick Rallis might be the happiest person in the building, and Drew Hetzinger, our offensive coordinator, might be the complete opposite because of just how much reinforcements were added to that defensive unit, especially at cornerback, defensive line, outside linebacker. There have also been a lot of turnovers in terms of the coaching staff. You have a new defensive line coach, a new inside linebackers coach. Sam Siefkes went over to Virginia Tech. So there's going to be a lot of different pieces, but I think that that's something that's really encouraging because you still have the core players like Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Garrett Williams that are going to be able to take the lessons that they've learned from the previous 2 seasons with Jonathan Gannon and help bring along those guys that are now new to the program.
All right, Zach Gershman, he writes the Cardinals beat for azcardinals.com. Hey, Zach, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. We look forward maybe to getting a chance to chat with you again as we get rolling here into training camp.
Of course, looking forward to it, David.
That is Zach Gershman. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions Broadway and Wilmot and Broadway, and some slowing at the intersection. Also wreck that occurred Avra Valley Road west of I-10, Avra Valley Road and Corey Road. 60 overnight low, 99 through the week. Chance of showers on Sunday, 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is already hiring for summer jobs in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to ExpressPros.com to find your location. That's ExpressPros.com.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? Desiree Reed-Francois joins us, the voice of the Wildcats, Ryan Jeffries. We're chatting with Kim Doss, Lamont Lovett, John Elliott, Choya High School. Ryan Hansen joins us.
Anytime you guys want me on, let me know. I love your show. Thank you for all the hard work. You guys do an amazing job. We're extremely fortunate to have you in Southern Arizona.
DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to Southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
When you hear
crunch, whine,
boing,
Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch,
whine, boing. No matter what kind of
crunch, whine,
or boing your AC is making.
We fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch, whine,
boing.
If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch,
boing,
or whine.
Wait, I thought I was whine.
You're crunch.
I'm crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
When Ram won its first Motor Trend Truck of the Year, it was celebrated. But after 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. And now, so does the deal with Employee Pricing Plus. Stop by your local dealer today and take home a Ram truck. Ram, 7-time Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Nothing stops Ram.
Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Rams for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. See dealer for details. And 6225. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
I'm Bill Ryder with the Sports Minute. You can chop up and analyze the Minnesota Timberwolves' 3-1 series deficit to the Oklahoma City Thunder any way you want. And you should certainly give the Thunder credit for being a dominating basketball team. But the fact is that Anthony Edwards, one of my favorite players in the league, is to blame. His shooting woes, his lack of aggressiveness, and the fact that he couldn't carry the Timberwolves to a 2-2 series tie sits with him. Stars have to play like stars. I'm Bill Ryder.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from... Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
2:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Thomas pushing, attacking. They're going to count the bucket and the foul. Thomas with the basketball, guarded by Iriafen. Kick out, Westbeld 3. That one splashes in.
Got to get a stop here and got to be smart and communicative.
Akol Makani 3. That one rattles in.
Who are these Phoenix Mercury that are off to a 3-1 start in the WNBA and will be home tonight here in the desert to the winless Chicago Sky? That's the Chicago Sky of Angel Reese, Haley Van Lith, etc. They have yet to win a game in this early WNBA season. I mean, again, I'm just looking down this roster right now, and you heard some of the names there in those highlights. Alyssa Thomas, Monica Koa Makani, and Catherine Westbeld. I mean, none of these women were on this team last year. I don't know. And we said that we told when the season started. We talked about how this was going to be a new look Phoenix Mercury this year. And we've gotten so used to all the years of Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, and Dewana Bonner, and the like. And there is not a single. I don't think there's. I'm sure there is at least one player on this roster that was on the team last year, but not many primary players.
Yeah, she's hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Clea Copper, she's out still with the injury. I think it was 4 to 6 weeks. Or something of that nature was the timeline on that.
I think it's definitely enhanced by the fact that Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner are first ballot Hall of Famers, and they played their entire careers up to this point there, right? Diana retired, Griner in a different uniform. That's the weirdest part, DK, for me, is top down, right? You talk about 2 people who've been on the team for 15, 20 years, them not being there alone, but 9 new players, that's got to be very rare. Right, to basically overhaul your entire roster.
Yeah, indeed. They got to win on Sunday. over Washington, and you heard the highlights there. It was a come-from-behind win. Big shot late by Catherine Wesbelt. She goes by Cat Wesbelt. She is out of Notre Dame, but has primarily, and this is interesting because you look at Cat Wesbelt, and also their third leading scorer currently is Koa Makani. These are both of these young women are playing their first, I call them young, but they're really not because they're veterans. But they're playing their first year in the WNBA after playing primarily overseas for the most part of their professional life. So you've essentially got like two veteran rookies on this team in those two players who are obviously stepping in with the injury, like we said, to Kyle Cooper. Let's hear from Catherine Wesbelt, who hit a big three-point shot late in the game as the Mercury rallied to beat Washington.
You know, I missed a few before that, so you just got to keep telling yourself, you know, just keep shooting the ball. You can't, you know, get in your head about missing those shots. It's all about the next shot. And, I mean, my teammates and everyone still had confidence in me to keep shooting the ball, and AT found me on the wing again and just let it fly.
Kat, you had a team high 4 steals, and even though you didn't shoot as great as they, you know, 2 for 9, how good is it?
She hit when it mattered.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. How's good it feel that you can hang your hat on those 4 steals out of the 15 that you'll add total?
I mean, when I'm in the game, I just want to make an impact, and whether that's on the offensive end or defensive end, that's kind of where my head's at. And yes, I wasn't making my shots, but like I said earlier, I mean, it's about the next one, and that's what they're expecting me to do on offense is be ready to shoot the ball when she drives and, you know, attracts everybody, be ready to shoot the ball on the outside. And so, I mean, just having that mindset, and on the defensive end, I mean, it's war. Like, you know, we're just ready for anything. And, you know, like she was saying, our guards are playing really good defense, and so they have trust that we're behind them, and that's kind of our principle. So.
We'll do one more.
Kat, Coach brought up a really interesting point about your verticality when you're defending around the basket. I'm just curious from your perspective as a big, just how you're able to put yourself in those positions to where even though it may not be a block shot, you're still able to alter it effectively.
I think just reading the game. I feel like I've always been a good help defender, and that just comes with, I think, basketball IQ and, you know, timing and everything like that. And as far as, like, you know, being vertical, I haven't really been foul prone like my whole career, and you know, I think that's just a big part of it. But I mean, just being able to impact shots, you know, it definitely, like, people miss shots when there's someone in front of them. So just being able to be in the right spot at the right time, I think, has been huge.
Yeah, Catherine Wesbelt, 29 years old, has spent the majority of her career overseas, was not drafted out of Notre Dame, but again, a veteran rookie who is averaging 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. She had 4. You heard the guy ask her. She had 4 steals in that game Sunday. They forced Washington into 30 turnovers.
Yeah,
in that game.
Well, from what I've seen, DK, that's their identity. I mean, that's when you bring over, you know, a person like Alyssa Thomas, who has a reputation of being a defensive monster. I mean, if people out there don't know, Alyssa Thomas has the most triple-doubles, DK, of anybody in WNBA history. And what she's known for is just being a menace on the defensive end. And that mentality, this year's team, they started with the 9. I was trying to do a little research on who actually was holded over. And the players that they say were held over actually aren't there anymore, DK. Like Natasha Cloud is with the Liberty now. Rebecca Allen is with Chicago. So a whole new roster, and they really have been hanging their hats on defense, leading to the 3-1 start.
And they're hanging their hats with Monique Akua Makani, who apparently is the screen artist for this team. She's 23 years old, out of Cameroon, and she apparently is the one they've been using a lot offensively to set screens for Alyssa Thomas to get open, and she was asked about her ability to do just that.
First of all, I'm happy that the coach trusts me with that, and I just try to do my best to, like, catch the player, because I know, like, as soon as, like, I hit the right screen, she's gonna get through the rim. So yeah, that's a job that I take very seriously. So yeah.
Monique, you know, it's a very atypical position for you, starting as a rookie and being a big contributor like you have. I'm just curious how your confidence has grown. I mean, I know it's a short sample size in terms of the amount of games that you've played, but how have you seen your confidence grow as a shooter since the beginning of the season?
Honestly, it doesn't only come from like the beginning of this season because I've been playing basketball for a while now, and so this season back in Europe, I've also like focused on my three-point shot, and the confidence just come with you shooting the ball. So yeah, every time I take a shot, it's like you're gonna make it, and if I don't make it, next one you're gonna make it.
There you go. Monique Akoa Makani, 23 years old again. She's averaging so far this season 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, playing the point guard position for the Phoenix Mercury. They actually do have a true rookie, Lexi Held. They not just veteran rookies, but they have a true rookie in Lexi Held, and she's already the 4th leading scorer on this team so far for the Phoenix Mercury. Alyssa Thomas, though, on these veteran players like Kat Westbeld and Akoa Makani, and what they've added to this roster so far.
They're ready. They're pros, and my job is to, get their shots and make it easy for them, and they come in ready each and every day, and it's just easy to play with them. A lot of people might not know who they are, but we have the utmost faith in them, and we go out there and battle with them each and every night.
Again, they'll play the Chicago Sky tonight. Some news on the Sky. The WNBA announcing today that they could not substantiate any of the reports of racist fan behavior at that season opening game between Indiana and Chicago in Indianapolis. This out of a statement. We've investigated the report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17th game. The league said, based on information gathered to date, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio, video review of the game, we have not substantiated it. The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone, and we will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. The other big WNBA news of the weekend, I'm surprised this didn't shut the entire league down, is Caitlin Clark's hurt and going to be out for at least 2 weeks.
Hammy, right?
Yeah?
Hammy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a huge blow for the Fever, and obviously a huge blow for the league to have one of their star players off the court. But Mercury and Sky tonight is the game in the desert here. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip at the PHX Arena.
Have you watched any Chicago Sky games?
I have not. I saw a little bit of that game that Saturday against Indiana, but I haven't sat and watched
So Angel Reese,
an entire Sky game.
Angel Reese and her camp are trying to make a big rivalry between her and Caitlin Clark going back to the LSU days, right? With Iowa. The issue, DK, is she just shot 5 for 11 in her last game versus Los Angeles, which upped her shooting percentage to 29% on the season. Prior to that, she was shooting 15% from the field.
Wow.
So it's kind of like Dennis Rodman because she's leading the WNBA in rebounding. Her effort and hustle is off the charts. There is no doubt that Angel Reese is a phenomenon on the glass. But there's a whole highlight package of her out there, very disrespectful, of her you remember Dennis Rodman with the Pistons?
Yeah.
Not even Bulls Rodman, but Pistons Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
Where he wouldn't even shoot layups. Yeah, I mean, Angel could be that player. She really could be a generational player. She struggles making layups, DK. And that's the biggest issue is that you hear a lot of this, it's Angel versus Caitlin kind of thing. But guys, if you're shooting below 30% from the field and making an argument that the player you root for is as good as a player who is dominating on the scoring side, it's tough. It's tough making a Steph Curry versus Dennis Rodman rivalry, right? It just doesn't work.
No. All right, DK on the sports tip. I got to interview an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist over the weekend. We'll get into that in the next hour. DK on the sports tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Gulf Links and Kolb Road, little bit of slowing at the intersection. A traffic hazard reported. Gulf Links and Kolb. Crash Keno near I-10 on Keno Parkway north of I-10. And collision at Broadway and Wilmot and Broadway. 66 the overnight low, 99 through the week. Chance of showers on Sunday and 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
But again, Caleb Love now taking over the game.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
The road to Omaha opens in Eugene.
Still going back at the track of the wall. It's gone! Out of here! Andrew Kane.
It's Arizona and Cal Poly Friday in the NCAA tournament at 12:50 right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated, and the lawyer you choose needs to be equipped to handle them. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. No one is talking Roadrunners, Sugar Skulls, and FC Tucson like us. We are Southern Arizona's number one sports station. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Spectacular setting.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Download our app. The Wildcats Radio 1290 app is the easiest way for you to stay in touch with everything going on here in State 48. We just got done talking about the Mercury. They've got a game tonight. If you go to the front page of our app right now, you can see that we've got a story up on tonight's game, a preview of tonight's game as the Chicago Sky come to town. We've also got information on the schedule this weekend for Arizona baseball at the regional in Oregon. Game Friday. They'll play at least one game Saturday, and then depending on where they are, potentially up to 2 games on Sunday. Hopefully just one game on Sunday, one game Friday, one game Saturday, one game Sunday, and you're on to Super Regionals. That's what we're hoping for in terms of the Arizona baseball team and their schedule coming up this weekend.
It does say rain expected Thursday, clear Friday, Saturday, Sunday, lots of rain Monday and Tuesday.
Oh,
DK.
boy.
So
yes. You don't want
that's the Eugene forecast coming up.
Who knows? I don't know that they would schedule try to schedule 3 games on Sunday. That would be a little bit much, but if there's rain on Monday, you never know, because you don't want that thing to get backed up into the rest of the week up there in Eugene, Oregon, where they are fond of their rain. For sure. All right, also coming up this week, there are 2 teams, there are 2 programs left competing this athletic year. You've got baseball still alive. You've also got track and field still going on. The West first round is coming up this week. It starts tomorrow, actually, in College Station, Texas. Texas A&M is the host. We have a number of Arizona Wildcats that are going to be competing there, trying to punch their tickets to the NCAA championships. We're going to dive into that a little bit here in this segment as well. But cool, over the weekend, they had kind of a dual competition. They had the Tucson Elite Throws Classic was at Drockman Stadium over the weekend. The official, although it was mostly a throws event on the college side, it was, I guess you could say, the official final home meet for outgoing track director Fred Harvey. We talked about that last week. Fred Harvey has announced that he is going to retire. Fred is going to join us on the show. I believe tomorrow will be the day we will chat with Fred, get his thoughts on everything that's happening out there in Texas, as well as what the next phase of his coaching life is going to be for him. So after they had the college event, they also had a USA Track and Field event, which was jumps and throws. So they had all the throwing events, discus, hammer, javelin, shot put, but they also had the jump events, triple jump, long jump, high jump.
Isn't that your
as
favorite
well.
EDM festival, Jumps and Throws?
Jumps and throws. Not quite. Although I did get to see a great DJ over the weekend. We'll get into that as well a little bit later in the show. But at that event for USA Track and Field was 2-time Olympic gold medalist Valerie Allman. Valerie Allman has won the gold medal the last 2 Olympics in the discus. And so she'll be going potentially for a three-peat when we get around to the next Olympics, which will be in 2028. So we still got 3 years to go before that. She's never won a world championship, which is this year. We're in a world championship year in terms of international track and field. And so she's going to try to win the world championships this year, but she was in Tucson, and she won the event relatively easily, to say the least, in her signature event, which is the discus. And I had a chance to catch up with her after to kind of get an idea of who she is, what she's all about, and how she ended up here in Tucson. Here we got Valerie Allman, 2-time Olympic champion, competing here in Tucson. Have you been here before? Is this the first time you've been at this track, or did you ever get here during your Stanford years?
Yeah, I made it here one time in 2017, but it feels like in a lot of ways this is my first time coming to Tucson and being at this meet. I feel like those early years when you're in college, there's so much that you're kind of figuring out, but now coming this time, we had a plan that I wanted to execute, and it felt good to be out here in the desert.
Any different in this desert air, this desert kind of heat for your event?
You know, I think part of being a competitor is just being able to adapt to the environment. I mean, I feel like today we kind of had some wind that was out here, which, you know, when you do those big stadiums, you're in a big stadium, there's not much of that. But so much of it's just being able to adapt and have to rise to the competition. So I like this heat, though. This heat in Arizona, it feels nice.
I know we don't want to put the apple too far before the cart, but is a three-peat, is that what we're thinking about here? I mean, I've seen some of the two-peat names up there, but I've not seen anybody ready to win this thing three times in a row in the Olympics?
Yeah, that would be a dream to be able to have a chance at that. So much can happen in 4 years, and it's on the far out horizon, but there's many things between where I'm at right now and what comes in LA 2028 that I'm hoping to give my best effort and go after.
So what are the goals this summer as you get ready for Worlds?
Yeah, Worlds is absolutely kind of our North Star this year. I've come close to being able to earn that title of world champion, and it's just not been in the cards. So I'm doing everything I can to try to have a strong hand and prepare to feel confident and ready to execute come Tokyo in September. So that's definitely everything that we're doing, is to align to walk into that meet and know that we gave it our best prep, our best effort to have a chance to walk away as world champion.
And are there any restaurants around the country that have a spaghetti dish named after you?
Not that I know of. I would be, that might top the honor of a three-peat if there is out there, but I'm yet to hear of it. So maybe that's the new goal, to find that pasta dish.
Congratulations on the engagement to that handsome guy over there. When's the wedding?
That is like my proudest feat, is to be able to get to marry Zebulon. We're planning to get married this upcoming January.
Congratulations, great performance.
Thank you so much.
All right, so if you've never heard the story, Valerie Allman was in high school, was actually a sprinter. She did running events, but her high school track team, the throwers would have a spaghetti dinner before every meet. And so she wanted to get in on the spaghetti dinner, and so she became a thrower. So she could go have spaghetti with the throwers on her high school team.
That's a good reason to become an Olympic champion. I like spaghetti, therefore I won gold medals.
So that's how she became a thrower, and she went to Stanford and parlayed that into becoming a two-time Olympic champion.
She just said there she'd like to have world champion as a title, DK.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 2 Olympic gold medals, isn't that world champion twice over?
It's like you want to win. You want to win
the
them
worlds,
all.
but yeah, I mean, I think she has that title a couple of times.
Indeed, for sure, at the highest level. But yeah, we got to get in. I sent out a tweet. We got to get. I'm calling you if you're an Italian restaurant here in town. If you run an Italian restaurant, I'm calling you Caruso's. I'm calling you Locali. I'm calling you Bottega Michelangelo. I'm calling you. What's the other one that I called out there this weekend? If you serve Italian food, let's get this going. Vera Amore, Tavolino, North. Let's get the Val Almond spaghetti dish on the menu. She came here to Tucson to perform. Let's get her a spaghetti dish on the menu. Let's make that happen. Who knows? Maybe she'll come back more often and make Tucson a regular stop on her training circuit.
I mean, that would be awesome. And I actually feel like Palo Alto is really dropping the ball here. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Like, you're talking about a 2-time Olympic. That being said, like, how many gold medalists from Stanford? Like, we always talk about how many great Olympians come from the U of A.
Yeah.
But I think Stanford has by far the most gold medalists of all time. And that goes back to the, late 1800s, early 1900s from Yale and some of those great athletes they had from the Ivy League. Stanford and Palo Alto more specifically, I think they should have had a spaghetti dish on the menu many, many years ago.
So, yeah, that was cool. I've not interviewed a lot of Olympic champions. In fact, I think the only I've interviewed, obviously, in terms of individual Olympic champions. I think I've interviewed Andre Iguodala. Obviously, he's won Olympic gold medal with the NBA, or with the men's basketball team, United States men's basketball team, but not a lot of Olympic individual champions. Matt Grievers, had a chance to interview him. Obviously, he's won a gold medal in swimming, but it was kind of cool to get a chance to chat with Valerie Allman.
One, who would it be?
One Olympic champion?
One famous individual Olympic champion from America, like Carl Lewis, somebody like that?
Wow. Yeah, gosh, I'm trying to think. I would love to interview Sydney McLaughlin just because she's the current star, but she's not. I don't think she's necessarily a great interview. I've seen her interviews before.
Yeah,
and she doesn't really talk much. But man, individual, gosh, that's. I mean,
I think of Carl Lewis. I think of FloJo. I think of those 80s, 90s people. Right?
I think Phelps would be great.
Phelps, of course, yeah.
Carl Lewis would be in that realm for sure. Justin Gatlin, some of those guys. Yeah, I mean, there's Edwin Moses. I mean, put him on the list. We're going way back now.
Style and I mean, he didn't lose. Like he didn't lose a lot of the.
No.
He was like the long what's it called, hurdler, right?
Right.
Yeah, long distance hurdle. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, the greatest Olympic champion of ever, maybe Muhammad Ali. You wish you could have interviewed. I never got a chance to interview Muhammad Ali. That would have been a cool one, for sure. But,
Daddy calling Cassius. I'm gonna call him Cassius.
There you go, Cassius Clay. All right, so on the college side of things, you've got the West first round coming up. We also had a chance to catch up with Sam Halaufia. I think we'll see if I got that name right when we do the interview here, because I think I got it wrong again. But he won the men's discus competition. I'm sorry, the men's shot put competition over the weekend, and he'll try to do the same coming up at the West first round this week. Had a chance to catch up with him over the weekend. The winner of the college round of the discus out here at the Tucson Elite Throws Competition, Sam Halaufia. Did I pronounce that correct, Sam?
It's close. Halaufia.
Halaufia. Sam Halaufia, junior here at the University of Arizona. And congratulations, Sam, on the win. How did you feel out there over the course of this two-day competition?
It was definitely a great experience. Just sort of a dress rehearsal for the regionals first rounds next week. So we've been training pretty hard. So to be able to come out with a result pretty close to my PB is a great feeling.
All right, so obviously you've been going through this entire season. How would you assess that it's gone to this point, coming off Big 12s, and like you said, heading into regionals coming up this week?
Yeah, so I think definitely in shot put we've made huge improvements from last year, and discus we've hit small PB, but the big thing there is just getting super consistent at those marks over the course of this year, and we've just improved on our marks from last season, which is huge. So I'd say it's been a success thus far.
You guys got regionals coming up. What is the plan going into that event?
Plan is to just go out there and just rip one, qualify for the nationals. That's all we got to do.
Always bittersweet, the last home competition of the year. But what was it like to be out here with all your teammates? And I heard them throwing up the claps to get you psyched for those last few throws out there.
It's just a blessing to be out here one more time, especially with all the seniors. They've set a great example for me, and I'm just excited to kind of carry on their legacy. So it was great to be out here with them one more time.
Coach Harvey this week announced he's retiring. Was that a surprise to you guys?
Yeah, it kind of took us by storm a little bit, but he's had a good run and he's done some great things for this program. So we can't do anything but be happy for him.
Obviously, he's over the entire program, not necessarily directly your coach with the throws, but what are some of the things he's imparted on you've taken away from his teaching since you got here?
Just being together, one as a team, and just working hard, and like he says, he's always big about marks, telling the story. So it's just great to have a coach that's focused on winning like that. So yeah.
Tell me what you like most about your throws coach here.
The thing I like most about McKay is kind of like Harvey. He's all about winning. He's all about just smacking those big marks. So yeah.
There you go, Sam. Best of luck coming up at Texas A&M.
Thank you.
Sam Halaufia, Arizona. He's just a sophomore, and his best throw of the season so far, 58.23 meters. That's 191 yards, I do believe. He threw 57.11 on Saturday, so a little under his season best, and he's currently ranked 32nd in the country. So he's got some work to do if he wants to try to maybe get into the finals coming up or at least be able to qualify into the NCAA championships. But he has that chance. So we'll be keeping an eye on Sam this week in Texas.
22.9. That was the Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Last time out.
There you go.
22.9 meters.
It's something for sure. It's something for sure. All right. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. We're going to give you your Diamondbacks download game tonight against the Pirates. We'll get you an update on Nick Gonzalez, the out of Cienega High Schools, battling an injury, trying to get back into the Pirates lineup. Cricket is getting you back home safely every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Broadway and Wilmot, earlier collision vehicle into a traffic signal pole. Wilmot and Broadway signals out at the intersection. Slowing there as well. New crash, Craycroft, south of Broadway Boulevard. The northbound lanes, northbound Craycroft approaching. Broadway is blocked. And a collision on Keno Parkway to the north of I-10. And for your weather, looking at 66, the overnight low 99 through the week, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play. Get the latest news on your teams and more, all in one place. Download Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play today. Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Home Solutions.
For quality, honesty, and service you can count on, call Goodfellas Home Solutions. Because when you need help around the house, we can fix it. Need a kitchen or bathroom makeover? Dealing with a clogged drain, leaky faucet, or sewer issue? We'll take care of it fast. We handle just about anything under your roof. Goodfellas Home Solutions. GoodfellasAC.com.
When you hear
crunch,
whine, boing,
Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch,
whine, boing. No matter what kind of
crunch,
whine, or boing your AC is making,
we fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch,
whine,
boing.
If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch,
boing,
or whine.
Wait, I thought I was whine.
You're crunch.
I'm crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play, but it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The field is now set for the upcoming Women's College World Series, and the UCLA Bruins punched their ticket over the weekend with a thrilling series win against South Carolina in the Super Regionals. The Bruins were 1 out away from elimination Saturday when Jordan Woolery hit a walk-off 2-run home run to extend the season. They avoided any such drama Sunday, shutting out the Gamecocks 5-zip to advance to the tournament for the 33rd time in program history. Head coach Kelly Enoy Perez is the only one to win a national softball championship as both player and coach.
everybody that's there has earned it. They have fought their way to earn it, so it doesn't really matter what your regular season stats were or outcomes were. I mean, we're here to play, and we've got to show up, and the biggest focus you'll hear us constantly say is playing our game. So I look forward to that opportunity.
Our coverage of the Women's College World Series from Oklahoma City begins this Thursday, May 29th. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Annie Lawrence on Westwood One.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Diamondbacks are playing tonight at home against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was not a very good weekend for the Diamondbacks as they got their butts kicked in St. Louis. Let's hear from Torey Lovello about what happened in St. Louis.
We're all frustrated. We're all extremely frustrated. And I think when you get into that state of mind, you want to be the guy. You want to say, I'm the one that's going to get this worm to turn for this group. And you get outside of yourself a little bit, and you don't stay with your approach. It's just a good lesson in being yourself at all times and going out there and trying to execute pitch by pitch, at bat by at bat. But there's a lot of frustration. There's frustration in the coach's room. There's frustration in the players' space. We're going to get this thing turned around, but it's tough to stomach right now.
Diamondback Download.
Baseball time. Indeed it is. And the road trip started so promisingly. I mean, you go to L.A., you win the first night, 9-5, and then we talked about how they let that one game slip away. They were up 3-1 going to the bottom of the 10th of that extra inning game, and the Dodgers walked it off. They lost 5 games in a row. 4 of those games are by 1 run. They lost 3 4-3 games and a 6-5 game, and then they lost the last game of the Dodgers series 3-1. So it wasn't like they were getting blown out, but a 1-run loss is a loss nonetheless. And the Diamondbacks came home under 500 again and 5 or 6 games out of the division behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. But you've got the Pirates on the schedule, and the Pirates are struggling this season. They've already fired their manager, Derek Shelton, this year, and you needed, again, we talked about it at the top of the show. If you can get good pitching, that everything else seems to fall into place, and Ryan Nelson provided that last night.
The metrics, the data on Nelson's fastball, it indicates that it is such a good weapon and that he should throw it more than 50% of the time. 1-2 now. Breaking ball. Oh, he just completely carved up Canario. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Ball squirts away. Cruz just flips the bat behind his head. Now tosses his helmet in disgust. The inning is over.
Yeah, Ryan Nelson was pretty electric in 6 2/3 innings, allowed just 4 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 4. Again, 0 walks. That is so critical in the game of baseball. But Ryan Nelson, and now the Diamondbacks might have a decision to make because we've talked about how bad Eduardo Rodriguez has been this year. Ryan Nelson, not a true member of the rotation, but could he be carving out his space to stay in that rotation moving forward? 6 2/3 shutout innings, got all the runs he needed early, and then got some bop power in the middle of the game, starting with Gino.
Suarez clobbers one to left field. There it goes, and it's gone. 433 feet, 109 off the bat. The 15th for Gino, and it's 3-zip Diamondbacks.
And then later on, I feel like we haven't really talked much about Josh Naylor, the free agent signee, or actually it was a trade, I believe. They got traded over from the Cleveland Guardians, and Naylor, the new first baseman, he would show his power.
Diamondbacks trying to snap a 5-game losing skid. They've lost 6 of 8 to fall a game below 500.
Naylor clobbers one to right field. Way back, and it's gone.
And the Diamondbacks would win it by a score of 5-0, again behind Ryan Nelson, who was absolutely awesome in 6 2/3 innings. Let's hear from the young right-handed pitcher about his start.
Fastball command was there. I feel like that's where it always starts for me. Is if the fastball command's there and I'm jumping ahead of guys, I feel like that opens up everything. Slider and curveball made a big step forward today, and the changeup as well. Been working on the secondary stuff a lot in these bullpens I've had. So yeah, kind of nice to have the week to work on some stuff and to get some quality work in on the secondary stuff. And yeah, just felt like I had some pretty good command of all my pitches today.
Longest outing of the year. Just how are you feeling as you got deeper into the game?
Pretty solid. I think last inning maybe a little fatigue set in, but to be expected. I think it's the first time I've touched the 7th in about 6 or 7 months or something like that. So it's nice to get back out there and most importantly just get the win for the team. I think that was big, coming off a little bit of a skid, but get back into the win column.
There you go. That's a long time to not pitch that deep into a ball game, but good to see for sure from Ryan Nelson. Torey Lovullo spoke before the game yesterday just on what his message to his guys were, having lost 5 games in a row.
I feel like the team is functioning. We play 7 good innings and something gets away from us for 6 outs or 5 outs, something like that. So what I just told the group is give me your 9 best innings tonight.
There you go. Give your best 9 innings. Usually some good things happen. Again, they're not far off. They just have not been able to win some of these close games.
Not far off is an understatement, DK, because despite the, 7 out of 8 games losing by the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers have 21 losses, people. The Padres have 22 losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even despite this skid, the great news, DK, is they're only 6 back of first place in the West and 18 games ahead.
Oh, yeah, against those two teams.
In case people didn't hear, the Rockies' 50-game start was 8-42.
Yeah.
8-42 in their first 50, DK. That's the worst record since 1890. Worst 50-game start to a season. So there's always the Rockies to look at. If you're on a skid and you're feeling bad about your team, DK, just look at Colorado.
They're already 24 games out, and we're not even to June.
They are 24 games. That's what I meant. Like, the D-backs are in 4th currently in the West. They're 6 games out of 1st, but they're 18 games out of 5th place. So.
Yeah. Not with the Pirates this week is Nick Gonzalez, the Cienega High School graduate who got injured earlier this year. He'd actually started his rehab assignment with AAA Indianapolis, but he played in only 4 games. According to general manager Ben Sherrington, he got hit in the hand during his first 2 games, and so they've kind of been looking at that and holding him back. Sherrington has not said when he believes Gonzalez will be back in the major leagues, but they'll continue to monitor his performance and see how that goes. So right now, no timeline set as to when Nick Gonzalez could get back into the ballgame. He got hurt on opening day. Hurt his on a home run, pulled up lame on a 2-run home run, and has not played since then. So hopefully he can get back in there, Nick Gonzalez, and continue on the fabulous start to his young major league career. All right, Diamondbacks tonight and the Pirates. That game will be up at Chase Field, and it'll be a 6:40 first pitch. Tonight, let's see, we've got Corbin Burns on the mound for the D-backs, 3-2 at 273 earned run average, and Mike Burrows for the Buccos, 0-1, 7-0. I do not believe we were getting Paul Skeens if I'm on this particular road trip. I don't think he's scheduled to pitch, unfortunately, for D-backs fans. So no Paul Skeens this time around. When did I have to see when the last time he pitched was, but he will not be pitching in this series.
I'll look it up for you.
Yeah, please do. All right, 520-848-1290. The line on this one tonight, if you are going to play it, Diamondbacks on the run line tonight, which is plus minus 1.5, or minus 1.5 at minus 130. Your over-under is 8.5. The bet there is minus 105. And the Diamondbacks are favorite tonight on the money line at minus 270.
Friday was Mr. Skeens' last outing.
So, well, maybe he might pitch tomorrow.
How about 3-5 with a 2.36 ERA, DK? That's Mr. Skeens' year so far to date. No run support.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, that's tough. That's tough when you got your best pitcher out there, and he's not getting the offense that you'd like for him to get. But that's the case generally unfortunately with bad ball clubs. And the Pirates are one of those clubs right now. They're in last place. They're not the Rockies, but they're 19-36.
Yeah.
And they are 14.5 games behind the club.
Unlike the Rockies, though, the Pirates have always been good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my lifetime, the Pirates are always generally in that conversation. The Rockies, not so much.
All right, so if in fact, one of my neighbors said he was heading up to the game tonight. If you're headed up to the game, I'd like to hear from you on that. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 if you're headed up to see the Diamondbacks. And so we got a lot going on. We got Diamondbacks playing tonight. We got the Mercury playing tonight. We got OTAs, which, again, will get started this week for the Cardinals. So a lot happening with our professional teams here in Arizona.
Saying apparently tomorrow, the 28th,
is OTAs?
Skeens
Skeens
next? Yeah, would be his next start.
All right, well, then he is going to pitch.
If not, the 27th. Yeah.
He is going to pitch in this series then. All right, so go tomorrow. Don't go tonight. Go tomorrow to see. Is that a day game tomorrow?
It says 3:40 first pitch.
3:40, yeah. So late afternoon game on a Wednesday to see Paul Skeens. All right, much more coming up for you. There's something, we were talking a little bit about Ben Matherin earlier, who has not seen a lot of minutes in the Eastern Conference Finals, and there was an NBA writer put out something interesting, and we'll dive into that coming up next about what the future for Ben Matherin might be in Indianapolis. DK on the sports tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Valencia and I-10 at the eastbound I-10 Valencia off-ramp. I-19 and Continental southbound I-19 Continental Road off-ramp, and other collisions. Keno Parkway north of I-10, Craycroft south of Broadway, and also at Wilmot and Broadway. Collision vehicle into a traffic signal pole and signals malfunctioning at Wilmot and Broadway. 66 the overnight low, 99 tomorrow and 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket.com is the new home for all things home ownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started, all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters in auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what, Rome, I did it. I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what, you probably aren't that smart. You need 2 more weeks.
We love Jim Rome every Monday through Friday on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
This is Zach Gelb of the Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa, the pros that know AC parts inside and out. The Florida Panthers had a chance to advance to their 3rd straight Stanley Cup final last night, but got shut out by the Carolina Hurricanes by a final score of 3-0. The Panthers, even with this Game 4 loss, still lead the series 3-1. And even if the Panthers lose Game 5 in Raleigh on Wednesday night, there will still be zero reason to doubt Florida, as I just don't see a way the Hurricanes find a way to win 4 straight games against the defending Stanley Cup champions. I'm Zach Gelb.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? You can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. Sunshine? No. Some wine? Yes. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. See app for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest, We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Benny Benassi had a chance to see one of the legends of house music Saturday or Sunday night up at the Sun Bar in Tempe. I was behind enemy lines last night, or Sunday night in Tempe. What a great show that was. Benny can still bring it. He's 3 months older than I am, and he's still bringing the house music. Hanging with those young cats. I love it. Benny Benassi. Marco's his real name. Great stuff. Satisfaction. One of his top songs ever.
And then just touch me till I can get my
Satisfaction. I mean, when he put this on, the place, I thought the roof was going to come off. The Sun Bar. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290.
Speaking of roofs coming off, DK,
Yes.
a little correction. The getaway game Wednesday is 12:40.
12:40.
It said 3:40 MST on the site I was looking at, but
boy.
that's actually the Eastern time start. So 12:40 tomorrow, getaway game. Paul in Phoenix, who we haven't heard from in a while, he called in during the break, couldn't get on the air, but he did mention that there are promotions, DK, for half-price tickets up in Phoenix for getaway games. So if listeners have been wanting to go to a Diamondbacks game, you want to go see Paul Skeens tomorrow, you might be able to get a bit of a discount.
Paul Skeens and Zach Gallen. That'll be the matchup tomorrow at 12:40 at Chase Field in the final game of the 3-game series between the Diamondbacks, Sun Devils, the Diamondbacks, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So there you go. Paul Skeens will be out there. All right, we were talking a little bit earlier about the Eastern Conference Finals, which will be happening tonight. You've got Game 4, and the Pacers are going to try to take a 3-1 lead. And we have not necessarily seen a ton of Benedict Mathurin in this particular series. This is a team, the Pacers team, that's very deep, and they've played a lot of guys. And unfortunately, though, Mathurin has lost minutes in this particular series. And when he's been out there at times, he has not necessarily played all that well. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but there's an NBA writer out there, and just that quickly, I lost it. But he speculated, I'll get his name for you in a second. He speculated that there's a possibility if the Pacers want to go into a win now mode, that they might look to deal Ben Mathurin this offseason, because I'm sure they would have a lot of takers out there for a young player like Ben Mathurin if they were looking to maybe get a more veteran piece to add to what they've got, depending on obviously what happens with this run here. You know, if they get to the finals and maybe come up short, do you potentially look to move a young player like a Ben Mathurin for a veteran piece that could get you over the top and get you that NBA championship?
Well, much like a lot of other NBA players, DK, Ben Mathurin is great at one thing and not great at other things. So what he's going to do is get you ISO buckets. Your fourth quarter, you're down by 10 points. You know who they give the ball to? They give the ball to Benedict Mathurin. The issue being that Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner are what make the offense go from the starters. And when they're in there, what they need from their other two guys, DK, is tough on-ball perimeter defense. And Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard right now are much better perimeter defenders than Benedict Mathurin. So the reason he has had spot starts throughout this season and throughout the last couple of seasons before he got injured, Ben Shepherd has taken minutes away from him this playoff series for the same reason, because Ben Shepherd's a better on-ball defender than Bennedict Mathurin is. So what am I saying? Well, I'm saying if Ben's not 3 for 4 with 10 free throw attempts, which is what a usually stat line looks like, they're going to put him in there. Rick Carlisle is going to put him in there and give him an opportunity every single game. I mean, right now, last I checked, he was 2 for 2 from the field. Let's see how he's doing in this game. He has currently got 6 points. He's 3 for 5 in 4 minutes. So this is a game, I guarantee you, Bennedict Mathurin's going to get more than 10 minutes. The last few games in this series, DK, if he goes in there and he's 0 for 2 with the turnover and is not playing as good at perimeter defense, then think about who the other team has. I mean, the Knicks are Jalen Brunson is their entire offense. So if you can't stay in front of a guy like that when you get switched off onto him, it's trouble. And I've seen Bennedict Mathurin have some really impactful defensive plays. He actually guarded Giannis quite well at points the last couple of seasons when those two teams have matched up. But right now, I think it's a confidence thing and understanding the moment, right? Because you're talking about an entire Pacer roster, DK, that just went to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. Bennedict Mathurin was hurt for that entire playoff run. He didn't play a minute in last year's playoffs. But guys who did are Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith. Those are guys who have a playoff experience on a run to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And Rick Carlisle's an old school guy. He plays 10 deep. Why? Because he can either rely on Bennedict Mathurin or Ben Shepherd or any of those other guys to come in and give them minutes on the perimeter. So you might see a 35-minute game from Bennedict Mathurin when he's really engaged defensively and giving you those really wow-type ISO plays that he can, late shot clock plays that give the ball to Bennedict Mathurin. As far as him being moved, I'll tell you two things, DK. If his outside shot's more consistent and he focuses up on how to stay in front of guys defensively, I think Bennedict Mathurin could be great in that system. However, the big knock on him right now is he's a bit of a ball stopper in that they're asking him to ISO. They're asking him to get tough buckets one-on-one versus NBA-level defenders. But that offense, if you watch them play, it's all hot potato. So it's all catch, dribble, probe, kick. They're moving the ball really fast, and he's a bit more of a ball stopper. So either he needs to figure out how to consistently move the ball within that Rick Carlisle Pacer offense, or find a team that's looking to ISO skilled one-on-one basketball players. Most of the NBA is watching what Coach Kerr has done with the Warriors and all their success playing that more motion offense. Of course, they're trying to get the ball to Steph, but it's really a matter of taking what the defense gives you, moving the ball consistently, quickly on the offensive side. Watch the Knicks play, DK. It's ISO. It's either Cat or Jalen Brunson, one of the two, being the singular offensive force. Ben could be that right now. Bennedict Mathurin is a 15-point scorer already in the NBA off the bench. If you put him in a role of a 2 or maybe the second option or third option on the team and gave him 15 shots, 20 shots per game, I guarantee you he would average 20, 25 a game. The question is with the efficiency and how many offensive, that's not what the Pacers do. So it's more of a fish out of water situation than Bennedict Mathurin's not ready to be a starting shooting guard. It's just the style of play. And with Tyrese Halliburton leading the way, I mean, if you've seen them play, if you don't move the ball when Tyrese is on your team, you're not getting it back. It's move the ball, find an open shot. That's their style.
It was Evan Siddery, who is an NBA contributor for Forbes, who wondered if the potential might be there with the less minutes of Bennedict Mathurin and Jarris Walker, who has not gotten into the game tonight, if the Pacers might look to package them both together potentially to a team for a player.
They do have Ben Shepherd, who's a young guard he's a 3-and-D guy, DK. And so if you're talking about the star power at the top, you want a guy to defend hard, knock down open shots. So they already have a couple of guys on the roster like that. Andrew Nembhard's a little bit more of a can go get his own, but he's a plus defender. Bennedict Mathurin is not right now.
Interesting stuff there. We'll see how it all plays out. And again, that game is underway right now. It is game 4 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals, and the Pacers have a 4-point lead with about 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Time now for your Desert Diamond Casino replay for tonight. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet. We had a chance to catch up with Zach Gershman a little bit earlier from AZCardinals.com. CardinalsNetwork.com. Talking Cardinals as we go into OTAs, which start this week up in Tempe.
It's funny because it seems like we're always talking about Keaton Crawford, even though he's a seventh-round guy, and those are normally the players that are the underdog stories, or you're like, oh, this would be a great, dream to potentially have. It'd be an amazing story. But at the end of the day, he does play, and he plays special teams so well. He's had 1,010 career special team snaps in his 5 years in college, 4 years at Texas, 1 year in Nevada with over there at Reno. And I asked him just about how much he loves playing that aspect of the game, because the Cardinals value that. They value that aspect of the game. Some teams, they'll have players that graduate from special teams to defense. I think a guy like Dennis Gardeck is truthfully a testament to that. That's not necessarily the case with the Cardinals. If you're good on special teams, you're going to remain on special teams as well. But when it comes to the draft as a whole, look, I think Walter Nolan, there was a lot of talk about his character. He said that he appreciated more than any other team that he spoke to in the pre-draft interview process that the Cardinals were the one organization that wanted to actually get to know the dude. Who's behind the face mask? And clearly the Cardinals like something, and were able to select Walter Nolan on top of the fact that he was just a stud in the SEC, All-American, all around. And then, of course, in the second round with Will Johnson, obviously that's a player that slid. A lot of experts had him projected to the Cardinals at 16. So the fact that they were able to get him in the second round at pick number 47, he said that his knee is fully good to go during rookie minicamp, during the open portion of it. We were able to see him out there. He's moving around. So I think that whatever those rumors were, they've totally been washed away. And I think a component of this that's very fascinating, there was so much talk surrounding Josh Sweat when he was a draft prospect. He had a gruesome knee injury when he was in high school, potentially was supposed to have his leg amputated, and has completely said whatever to those rumors. I'm healthy, and he's been healthy since. Will Johnson kind of has a similar story, so it's fascinating to see both of those guys being Gannon guys.
That was Zach Gershman, azcardinals.com. At the top, he was talking about Keaton Crawford, the 7th-round pick for the Cardinals. And again, a 7th-round pick, but, man, I was watching the film, and I really liked his aggressiveness coming from that safety position. Played his last season at Nevada. You mentioned the special teams ability there. He played over 1,000. He played over 1,000 special team snaps in college.
Wow.
1,000 special team snaps in college. That's crazy. And you know who his second cousin is?
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, hey. You know what else is crazy is I just looked up and I saw Spike Lee and Timothy Chalamet are both very happy boys right now.
Timothy Chalamet. And they were talking about him earlier on the Eisen show. Everybody's he's a star now. He's a star just now because he's sitting courtside watching the Knicks. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Zach Gershman for joining us from azcardinals.com. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, for cricket, for J-Dub, for myself, David Kelly. Dragon Ball had the day off. It is DK on the Sports Tip. You've been listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported 22nd Street and Swan, Prince Road west of Flowing Wells, 22nd and Country Club, eastbound I-10 Valencia off-ramp, Craycroft south of Broadway, also earlier wreck at Broadway and Wilmot. 66, the overnight low 99, tomorrow and 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big. But there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or JTAutoAZ.com.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Touchdown, Arizona!
With press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play, we bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Goodfellasac.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's Arizona and Cal Poly in the NCAA baseball tournament.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Arizona's champions of the Big 12 baseball tournament.
Brian Jeffries has the call Friday at 12:50 right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Bradley for three. Jaden Bradley has come alive in the second half.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We talk Diamondbacks baseball daily.
Overall, inside of our culture, it's built on love, trust, commitment, and effort. And I think love is the glue to all of it.
Love, trust, commitment, and effort. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.